Russian attacks on Ukraine mark an increasingly deadly escalation. In Kramatorsk, this building was hit by a strike and a body is pulled from the rubble after a search operation which lasted 20 hours. Kyiv's forces are still holding the city, but a conflict monitor close to the Ukrainian army says Russian forces are within 20 kilometres of the city's eastern edge. As a result, hundreds of families with children will be forcibly evacuated. In the Kyiv region too, attacks are becoming more frequent and deadlier. Along this railroad track, railway workers are removing the bodies of 8 victims, killed after a strike at a busy train station 30 kilometres from the capital. A local resident describes scenes of horror.
The noise was deafening, and since the air raid alert was still in effect, I didn't dare look around. Then there were 2 explosions, buildings collapsing and a lot of smoke. There's a train station nearby, and then I saw people in blood running down the street.
Ukrainian air defences downed nearly 90% of the 115 drones launched by Russia, but failed to intercept a single one of the ballistic or cruise missiles. Ukraine's President Zelensky attributed this to a shortage of air defence missiles and called for allies to provide more.
Ukraine has started receiving roughly 3 times fewer anti-ballistic missiles to defend our state. It was primarily connected to the war, or, as it is now fair to say, the hostilities and wars in the Middle East.
Last month, US President Donald Trump suggested the US might grant Ukraine a licence to manufacture Patriots, but later appeared to backtrack. However, sources say the US is pressing ahead with talks on allowing Ukraine to make Patriot interceptor missiles. But even if Kyiv secures such an agreement, it will need other missiles to meet its immediate needs and is urging allies to transfer some of theirs. The EU, meanwhile, said that it will use €1.4 billion taken from interest generated from frozen Russian assets to help Ukraine.